Give me a sec. Okay. So how's it going? Hope everything's all right. If you have questions, I just have to remind you that you can use either Zoom or, for those who review, some concepts of the section or lesson 9.2. One reminder, guys, is that you should be logging in Canvas, checking what activities are available for you to do. So yeah, there are 4 lessons, 9.1 through 9.6, 5 lessons, and there are 2 quizzes available, as well as your big ideas math homework assignments. Okay. Hello. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me do something here. I'm gonna stop my Spotify and okay. Hello.
It's birthday today.
Oh, really? Happy birthday. I know. That's what happens to almost everyone. Same thing. My daughters are like, what? Are we going to have to wait until what? So we just have to wait until, hi, Raja. How are you? Until, whatever they say, but let's just prepare because we will need to be patient. So yeah, unfortunately, things are not well, honestly. So yeah, gotta be patient. Okay, but good thing is that we have and we can move on, guys. And probably right now you appreciate how important and useful things are, like school, like all the things you learn, because when everything is stopped just like that all of a sudden, then you realize that. Hey, Jalen, there's also someone here. Can you check the chat? Can you see the chat? So I'm saying here. Can you see it?
Oh, thank
you. Yeah, okay. Good. So what I'm gonna do now is with teaching that lesson. I'm going to go through 3 exercises, and if you have questions, just type the questions on the point 2. Is talking about the special right triangles, and it is linked to the section 9.1 because interesting relationship, and it is called the Pythagorean Theorem, right? So what we learned in 9.1, this is what we learned from 9.1. We learned that this is the short segment A or leg, and this is the long leg B, and this is the hypotenuse. And we learned that if you square the hypotenuse, that is equal to the sum of each of the legs squared. This is what we learned in section 9.1. The thing is that we know that there are different types of right triangles depending on these 2 angles here. We already know. Wait a second, please. I was trying to avoid you guys making noise, and it happened to be me. Ironic, right? Bunch of combinations. The thing is that today, and this is the first thing you need to take into account. If you can memorize that, that'd be great. And I say you can do it because it's a pretty 545, and this is a 90-degree angle. So the first special right triangle is one we call 45, 45, 90. Okay? And there is a second one. I'm going to use blue this time. And 30. Okay? And we can say this is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Okay? With this in mind, now we can determine certain things. When in this type of right triangle, the legs measure the same. Yeah? So, example, if this is 10, this is 10. If this is 5, this is 5, and so on. And also, because of that, the only thing we have to do to know the length of the hypotenuse is multiplying this x. You multiply it by square root of 2, and then you will immediately know what the measure is. So simple, right? So as an example, I say that if, I hope you can see it, yeah. So if this is 3 and this is 3, then I can, and let's say that this is something we don't know, well, I can just use this. The only thing I have to do is take one of these legs, any one, and multiply it by square root of 2. So I then know that the length of the hypotenuse here is going to be 3. You just have to take that value and multiply it by the square root of 2. You can do it in the conversely way. If you happen to know what the hypotenuse is, you just have to divide by the square root of 2 to know this value. Okay, I think that one of the examples are going to cover that situation. Okay, now let's take a look at the 30, 60, 90 right triangle. This right triangle also has short leg, so I'm going to label it as X. And because of this, I immediately know that the short leg is X, the hypotenuse is twice as much. Okay, you just have to take this and multiply it by 2 and you will know the length of the hypotenuse. If you, on the other hand, you want to know the length of the long leg, you just have to take this value and multiply it by square root of 3. Okay, and that's it. Sorry, it looks like a 5 and I don't want to mislead you with this, so I'm going to write it again. X multiplied by square root of 3. That's it. Okay, well, you know, I'm not going to do an example with this because now I'm going to go over some of the exercises from the book. Okay, or you can you know, right here in this chat. I hope that the instructions are clear on Canvas, but anyway, if anything happens, just let me know and send me an email. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase this, and let's do those 3 exercises. Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to solve, and if you want to take a look at it later on, not now if you don't want to, they're on page 529 on the book. So it's going to be page 529, exercise number, I'm going to start with exercise number 6. Okay, and we have this right triangle. Okay, that when I take this and I multiply it by the square root of 2, that is going to be the value of, or the length of the hypotenuse. So in this case, it happens to be 9, both sides. With this, I can cancel out these ones. So X numbers with square roots or any roots in the denominator. This is an irrational number. We don't want it. So we need to get rid of the square root of 2 by multiplying by 1. Remember, in this case, the multiplication by 1 will be square root of 2, and square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. So it's right here. You can show the answer like this, probably from the big ideas math. I don't know if you know, if you have it like this, you can show it like that, or you can just, you know. Now I'm going to do exercise number 8. What's the advantage now? That if you didn't get to understand anything, you can rewind and you can, you know, ask me to do this exercise 1,000 times if you want. Okay, and I'm not gonna get tired because I'm gonna be here at home. That's part of the process of doing it this way. Okay, so yeah, and now seriously, if you didn't get anything from this process, well, eventually you know that this is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to send you the link in a few minutes, and then you can go over that, so it can, you know, you can get you can get that help from it to solve your quiz. Okay, now I'm going to go to exercise number 8 from the book as well. And here we go. Now we are given this right triangle, special right triangle, and we are given, okay, the right triangle is, okay, So again, since we know or we recognize this as a special right triangle, a 30, 60, 90 multiplied by 2 is equal to the length of the hypotenuse. Okay? You can go back and recheck. Is equal to the long leg, which in this case is 3√3. Okay? So in this exercise, the variables or the unknown values are the short leg and the hypotenuse, and we have this information. This one won't help. So, I mean, it won't help at this point of time. But this relationship that tells you that the short leg multiplied by square root of 3 is equal to the root 3, and we also cancel it out here, that means that x equals 3. So we found it, x equals 3. And now y, we already know that y is 2 times x. Since x is 3, then y is 6, and now we're done. Okay, that's it. We're done. And then now, before we're done, now I'm going to solve exercise number 16. That it has a little bit of some complex things, but eventually is about the same idea, using special right triangles to be solved. Okay, so I'm going to erase here. Now I'm going to do number 16. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so here we go. Number 16 tells you this. You see this? Okay, I'm not going to say yet, but I hope you recognize it. I'm going to indicate 2 more things, and you will tell me what shape, what figure is this. We have this, and we have this. Hopefully you already recognize. What information are we given? We are given this information. This segment, one of the bases or the bases, is 5. We are also given this information. There's a 60 right here. Okay. And the question of this problem is this. Find the area. Okay, find the area of the parallelogram, all right? So one thing you need to remember, the base multiplied by the height, okay? And please, one thing to remember, the height of a parallelogram is, remember what we learned from triangles. This is the height. Is a segment that is perpendicular to one of the bases. And because of that, tell me what you see here. I hope you can see this right triangle. If you see it this way, it seems like we have, oh, I forgot to give you one more information, because if you just had this information, you wouldn't be able to solve this exercise. This is length side, measures 4. And that makes sense because some people might tend to think that if this is 4, then they would think that the area of this parallelogram would be 5, the height of the parallelogram. So now we have to find it. But hopefully you can now see that if we take this right triangle here, you'll be able to notice this is the short segment, this is the hypotenuse, and this is the long segment we want to find. Okay, so based on what we learned in this lesson, this is a very ugly, very ugly square root. Excuse me, please. So I'm going to write it here in front. Square root of 3 times x. Okay, so with that information, I think that we can already find what we're looking for. Is this height? It doesn't tell me anything. But x is also here, and I think that this relationship can tell us what x is. What number multiplied by 2 is 4? It's very simple. So hopefully you already know that x equals 2. Okay? With that information in mind, multiply by 2. All right, and this is the value I need. Okay, because from the initial values we are given, we know that b equals 5. Okay, and now we already know from this that h equals square root of 3 multiplied by 2. And now I just have to combine them, okay? So what I do is this. So the area of the parallelogram is b, that is 5, multiplied. I'm going to switch this to, and this is in your calculators, it's going to be approximately 17.3. Okay, and that's it. Okay, there is a discussion forum on Canvas. You can go back to the book. You can rewind this video. That's it. Okay, so that's all for now. Please make sure you read the announcements every day. I'm going to be publishing things. I'm going to make it a little bit more, what can I say, structured. But anyway, hopefully all these resources we have will help us keep going as we, have to go through all this interesting and weird situation. But please, let's make the most of it. I'm trying to do it. I'm doing well here. So hopefully you are also well at home. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wait 1 or 2 minutes and see if you have some questions. I'm going to try, well, I'm going to put my computer here. By the way, this is my studio here at home. This is where I'm doing all my stuff. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to be waiting. Ponernos de acuerdo para que también hagamos alguna explicación también en español. Ahora yo quisiera que aprovecharan que estamos haciéndolo en inglés para que practiquen, pero si no, pues me avisan, ¿ok? Okay, so here we are. Just gonna be waiting for 1 or 2 more minutes, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be all for today. So Thomas, are we good? So sines and cosines, yes, that's going to be sines and cosines, and probably that's going to be on Wednesday, right? And we're going to have this similar structure. Okay, guys.